What's up, everybody? Welcome back to BSL16 here, round of 8. We've already seen some incredible series so far today, but we have one final series here to top it all off for you guys. It's going to be a Protoss versus Protoss matchup between Zhanhun and Dewalt. And yeah, I think a lot of people would agree these are two of the more favored Protoss here in the round of 8.
Yeah, for sure. You think of Dewalt, you think of finalists, you think of Zhanhun in the past few seasons, potentially could be a finalist also. And you know, this is a rematch, I think, even from, was it last week? Zhanhun versus Dewalt? You know, I always have Dewalt first getting in the group, but actually Zhanhun was the player that made it out in first place. And I'm trying to think back to those games. I feel like DTs won that series also. It seems like DTs are just having a resurgence these days.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're making a comeback because these players are just so strong, right? Like, it's so close that a lot of players feel like you need like an edge, right? And sometimes that edge could be cutting obs in favor of faster, reavers, obviously, or, cutting eco to get shuttle speed. So if you're not careful and you cut too many corners here, DTs are a quick way to punish someone. So yeah, it looks like maps have already been banned here. The bans were Odyssey from Zhanhun, Sylphid from Dewalt, Circuit Breakers then from Zhanhun, and a Butter ban even from Dewalt. So it looks like we won't be seeing any two-player maps for this PvP, which, I think a lot of you Protoss players out there who get to play the ladder, aka get to play PvP all day, would probably agree that eliminating all the two-player maps is not a bad idea sometimes.
Yeah, definitely could be the kryptonite for one of the players. So what I want to know, though, Machine, Circuit Breaker is so popular, not only was it banned, it was also picked. It somehow got banned and picked at the same time. That's how powerful this map is.
Man, there's, you just can't get rid of it, man.
You can't do it.
You can't do it. You can't ban it because it'll get picked anyway.
Yeah. Didn't somebody... Nobody picked the Circuit Breaker, but remember, what was it, Mihu versus XiaoShuai or somebody, where they picked Polypoid. They're like, you know what? Nah, Zero. I'm not playing any of those maps. Let's just go Polypoid.
Okay, I guess it was Nemesis ban, as expected. We're getting the unorthodox maps out of there. Yeah, I do remember what you were talking about there with the Polypoid pick. That was like last season or something like that.
Oh, actually, it was XiaoShuai versus Fengzi, because I remember the XiaoShuai Ling all ending, and because Fengzi just kept dominating with Mutas. I was like, dude, maybe we should Ling him, and he ended up winning with the mass Lings. The Sunken didn't hold, but not necessarily surprising, but this is the first time all day that we don't have any two-player maps. We've actually got really big maps, even though Power Bond is a three-player map. I mean, it's still quite large. And our first map is going to be Vermeer, that S-rank map that everybody knows and loves. So let's get into our rematch of Zhanhun versus Dewalt, Game 1.
And spawning top right as that red Protoss, it is Dewalt.
And in the bottom left, our blue Chinese player, it is Zhanhun. So today we've had, in the OUG series, some quite aggressive openers, but then we kind of chillaxed in Game 3. This is Vermeer, big map, and we could very well have the 12 Nexus. We haven't seen any of that today.
I'd love to see it, especially, obviously the players can't know this, but they are cross-position on one of the biggest, if not the biggest map. So, something like a 12 Dex would be probably pretty favorable here, just given what we already know. But that is, at the same time, a pretty big risk to pull out, especially when you're facing off against either one of these players.
Well, so far, Pylon in the main. Nothing unusual going on, and both players gateway right at the same time. And I guess really right now we're just waiting to see if there's going to be a Zealot. Is anybody going to scout fast? I think last week we just saw kind of normal-ish scout patterns, you know, like 12, 13, 14 supply timings as opposed to like a pylon scout. You know, this isn't G5 that builds a pylon and insta-scouts you and finds you in the first position every time.
Yeah, very, very, very true. We are seeing the faster scout out of Dewalt here. Looks like, I don't know where that probe's going. Is that cross map? Is he looking for proxy gates? It's kind of a guess.
I don't even know anymore, man. Like these players, sometimes they go vertical, sometimes they go horizontal, sometimes they go cross scout. Well, why did you go cross scout? I'm sure they have an answer, but honestly, I don't know, because I think the likelihood that somebody's proxy gating is pretty low. Like Zhanhun doesn't strike me as a proxy gator. Now, if this was J-Star, you're damn right I'm scouting the center. Or if it's Bust Heron, yeah, I'm scouting. But versus Zhanhun, I think he wants to just play to his strength, which is get me to mid game, get me to late game, and I can probably just out macro you.
I was wondering if Dewalt would see this and then cancel the first Zealot in the main. It looks like he doesn't. So he continues to produce that Zealot. Will use it to likely just block his ramp given their positions here. Yeah, wow, super fast Citadel out of Dewalt. It's the day of DTs, man. That's all we're seeing today.
Damn, it's like, I don't know. They just, the R key dropped out of their keyboard, and like, well, I mean, goons are good, but what else can I build? Oh, well, K's still in the keyboard, so I'm gonna just build the Dark Templar.
It's like you're playing in every PvP series here today.
Yeah. I mean, literally, this is what I do: is I go DT or I go 3-gate, 4-gate speed zealot. Either way, you still need a Citadel, right? It would make my day if we see 4 gateways go up, but I have a feeling that's not going to be the case.
You're not giving yourself enough credit. I've seen you go 1 base carrier PvP.
Oh yeah, well. that too. You can't discredit that. J-Star pulled out my patented 1 base carrier build on Odyssey, but look at this, Zhanhun with the delayed Citadel.
Wow, just the day of DTs. Everybody's wanting to go DTs today. I mean, the one thing is, like Oya, the advantage of playing hyper aggressive and getting after it with your first units is at the highest level you can scout that blur. Now, because there is a ramp leading to the main on this map, you can always just hold position your own DT on the ramp to prevent that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how this one's going to shake up here.
Well, I do want to point out that Dewalt chasing this probe seems suspicious because he knows it's going to get caught. This is high MMR. The guy is going to chase this down. So already if I was Zhanhun, yes, I'd be like, wow, this was just a gift to me. But at the same time, be thinking like, why was this gifted, So I would be suspicious of why this guy just threw a goon at me for free, essentially. Like, is he going to counterattack me? But there's no counterattack right now.
Yeah, this is really odd. I mean, because obviously Dewalt doesn't just make those mistakes. Forge is going down, though. That's a little tricky here. He sees the blur, too. Oh my gosh, hilarious. I mean, there's no way that Zhanhun holds his natural here to this DT. He'll probably be able to hold his main if he just hold positions his DT on the ramp here. We're getting a robo as well. No cannon. Looks like he's just all out going to rely on his own DT to block the ramp, I'm guessing. Oh, no, there's a cannon. I lied. Oh, man, this is going to be close, though. He might move the goon out just in time.
Yeah, also, Dewalt's going to see the DT move out. And you got to be... Okay, the DT is actually a pretty fat unit, but sometimes if you do misposition it, you can just walk by. But this time around, not able to walk by. And I thought that Dewalt's natural might get canceled by Zhanhun's DT, but because he's obligated to leave it on his ramp, well, that means that this Nexus is just going to go up, and this is just a massive advantage now for Dewalt.
Yeah, this is hilarious. I mean, like you're saying, this was a huge, huge advantage, all stemming from like a Dragoon being sacrificed to start things off here. It's kind of funny. 4 goons stuck out of the map here for Zhanhun, and I mean, we're seeing Zhanhun at least be so efficient with each and every single one of his units. He canceled that cannon inside the main just to give himself a little extra minerals to work with here. But still, Dewalt got to be feeling very confident. Templar archives you know, likely going to be researching Storm if it has not already. And he knows he's just got to defend some big, you know, one base timing now from Zhanhun.
Here comes the DT drop. You know, sometimes Protoss players, you know, they think, I got a cannon at my natural. Well, how are you going to kill me with DTs now? I can't be busted. And they forget to build cannons in their main, but Dewalt too good for that. He's got one in his main, but because this drop wasn't loaded up with 4 DTs, I don't think he can overwhelm this cannon. And look at that. A random
Wow.
DT just going through the map spots the shuttle. So now this has no hope.
Just a random DT walking around. Must be nice to be Protoss and just get lucky all the time. Oh, man. DT going to be unloaded here in the main. As you stated, there is a cannon in position, though. So it's just going to be a little annoying, more so than anything. I don't think any truly major damage going to be dealt here. Yeah, it looks like the shuttle's coming back even just to try to pick that up. Unless it's going to go to the natural. Oh, that was a mistake.
Oh, DT run by. DT
Yeah,
run
DT
by.
run by.
Remember, they still deal 40 damage. You gotta actually kill them.
Still, though, this is going to force the Dragoon force of Zhanhun way back
way.
into the main.
No way. Okay, I thought that the goons were gonna get bugged out on the gas probes, and then the DT was gonna get multiple probes, but didn't happen.
Yeah, looks like he got enough, though. Still, Zhanhun actually just going to secure his own natural and try to play from here. Probably not a bad call. 4 gateway count in the main here for Dewalt. You know, he's had Templar out banking energy now for quite some time, so I'd like to see him go for a Storm drop. And as I say that, yeah, he's going to load up 2 Templar and a DT of his own into that shuttle. Wow, I really like this pylon. Oh, never mind. Is that not a pylon above Zhanhun's main? It's just a Dragoon, but still really nice scouting positioning there. Might be able to even catch this shuttle before it gets inside the main.
Yeah, this shuttle doesn't have speed, so even if it doesn't die, it's going to take a lot of damage. This drop is really fast. I wasn't expecting to see a Storm drop this quickly, but he's going to go for it. He's gotten all the way across to top left, coming down vertically now, and he is gateway flooding right now to try and overrun Zhanhun in the mid game. So is Zhanhun. He's going up into 6 gate right now. I saw the forge spinning for Dewalt for quite a while, so he's actually going to have +1 advantage. Oh no, he's not. Actually, he's going to be down +1.
Wow. Ha! I mean, that's big news here. That shuttle's still not moving in. There we go. Let's see if the 2 Dragoons can take it out before it's able to deal some significant damage here. Shuttle even moving into the main? Oh, the shuttle will make it past. Probes immediately pulled, though, from Zhanhun. Very nice reaction time. And DT going to be unloaded here. Suddenly, this shuttle could be caught.
Yeah, those goons have range, so I mean, the shuttle is slow. He's not really going to get... Okay, that was an amazing storm. Does a lot of damage to the goons, almost even killed a Templar, but does lose his shuttle, does lose 2 Templars into DT. At least he forced a probe pull, but really not the damage that Dewalt was looking for.
Yeah, lost mining time, you know, it's hard to say. But I think maybe that was a little better for Zhanhun.
Well, we've got, what is that, 7 gates for Zhanhun. He's within 3 workers now, and supplies are actually in favor of him. I don't know how that happened, but that means that his army is actually a little bit stronger. We've got a single Templar, single Zealot drop into the natural. Instant transfer again, unloads, and the perfect split.
I can't believe that. Literally the perfect split. That shuttle is not going to get away with its life. And yeah, suddenly supplies even up even further now. I mean, given their positions, right, it seems like it's kind of a stalemate. Neither player is really going to be able to deal significant damage given the current situation. So I mean, the advantage should go to whoever chooses to expand next.
Yeah, and even though there was not a drop in the main, Dewalt still transferred because he thought there was more loaded up. So that hurt his econ even more, and he is still down 10 army supply somehow. Actually, Zhanhun's also up in worker, so the disruption to Dewalt's econ really impactful for him. I also saw him miss a macro cycle, so that's a big deal too. And Zhanhun may actually be the first one to take a third Nexus.
I feel like we're just seeing more gas units, though, in general, out of Dewalt. It seems to be like his big advantage. There's tons of Dragoons, Templar, you know, Archon, and it mainly just seems to be Dragoon out of Zhanhun. Oh, there's a lot of Zealots there, too. A couple Templar.
Yeah, also those Templars that Dewalt has, they have double storm each, whereas Zhanhun just has, okay, those do have double storm too. So pretty even amounts of storms on both sides. It's going to come down to the angle of attack and, of course, unit comp. I actually like Zhanhun's comp better because he's got an Archon, he's got more Zealots, like really Zealot heavy, whereas Dewalt didn't really look like he had as many Zealots, but we've got another drop into the natural.
Yeah, good placement of this drop. Oh, Storm going down, getting 3 probes. Not, you know, the biggest deal, though. I still kind of like that for Dewalt. I think I'd trade a couple Templar and a shuttle for 3 probes, no problem.
Well, we've got both players posturing back and forth, looking for the best angle of attack. Both players do have +1. Not sure if anybody's close to getting +1 armor or +2 weapon. No, the answer is no for either side. Oh, double forge actually for Dewalt, and here he comes barreling in onto that third base. Good storm.
Huge storm there for Dewalt. Oh, another huge storm. No legs quite yet for Zhanhun either.
Oh my god.
So maximum damage going down with each and every single one. Oh my god, that's it. That has to be game. Those were just the cleanest storms you could have asked for.
That was a massacre. Just bottlenecked right in the sweet spot. And remember, it was 150 to 150 literally, what, 10 seconds ago? Now it's 135 to 90.
Some of these Templars going to get caught out, though. Oh, he was really close to getting another storm on top of those Zealots. And now suddenly Zhanhun forced to counter just to try to draw some aggression away from his vulnerable natural. But Dewalt all over it.
Yeah, this is gonna be the game-ending move. There's nothing here to be able to stop it. GG comes out from Zhanhun, and that was really well done from Dewalt and Zhanhun. I mean, Zhanhun had a really good comeback. It was just that angle, man. Those storms, those were sick.
Yeah, it was so sick. I don't know what he used to kind of draw Zhanhun's attention away, but he was just barely able to get to Zhanhun's third in kind of that funnel, you know, situation there, and got just some critical storms down, and man, made, you know, short work of Zhanhun there for game number 1. So very well done.
Yeah, and I can't remember whose map pick it is next, but it is Circuit Breakers. I do remember that. So another big map, another standard map, and just based on the trends today, it feels like likely we're going to see another Citadel opener. I mean, people have just had really good success with it.
Yeah, a lot of success with it, and we've just seen it consistently. Multiple games now where both players actually open up DT, so little surprising, you know. It's definitely very different from what we're used to seeing out of players like Boa or a Bonyth that leans so heavily on that, you know, early robo style of play. But maybe it's just a read both these players are kind of making when comparing each other's styles here. But either way, I think both of our players should be set and ready to go here. So it's going to be Zhanhun facing off against Dewalt on Circuit Breakers for Game 2. And spawning bottom right of Circuit Breakers as the red Protoss, it is Dewalt.
And in the bottom left, our blue Protoss, it is Zhanhun. And I would have really loved to see Dewalt proxy 2-gate this game. The reason I say that is because last game Zhanhun had kind of a late scout. I have a feeling last week when they both played, Zhanhun late scouted, and I don't remember Zhanhun ever scouting the center. So I would have loved to see proxy gates this time, but we're not going to see it.
Yeah, no probe quite making its way out in the center of the map yet, but yeah, it would be nice. I think this is a funky map for proxy gates, though. You can't really proxy in the center, if I'm recalling it correctly. So you kind of have to do the whole, like, guess that your opponent is located on the other side of the map from you and take like a 2/3 shot or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Well, if he had gone mid-left, of course, he would have gotten lucky. If he had gone to top middle, for example, and built in the top middle position, which players have done to me, by the way, Sugo, if you're out there in the chat. And as I state that, it would have backfired because, well, maybe it would have backfired because this is a really fast scout from Zhanhun.
Yeah, extremely fast scout. Scouting that cross-map position once again as well, so I wonder what kind of reaction he's kind of looking for, or adjustment, if he knows his opponent's close position as opposed to far away here.
So both players ended up going for the center scout, and really now it just comes down to luck here. Are you going vertical or are you going horizontal scout? And it looks like the answer for Zhanhun did vertical. He switch it up? He's going vertical? He is going vertical. Nice.
So it looks like he'll get second scout off. That should still be in time to see, get up the ramp, see that this is going to be a core, has that early assimilator. Yeah, Zealot not going to be in time to prevent that scout. So we'll have to see what Dewalt opts for here as well. Looks like he will be scouting vertically second as well. So both players should know what's up here pretty shortly.
Yep, identical builds. Both players got a Zealot. However, Zhanhun's Zealot is in position, and if he's in the sweet spot, he could go for that Citadel because Probe can't get in. And he does prevent it from getting in.
Yeah, he could go for Citadel here. I don't know. Seems a little risky, but we'll have to wait and see.
Both players getting range, so neither one faking it. Also, well, Dewalt has more gas. Don't know how that happened, but he does have a considerable amount more gas. But he does have range, and Zhanhun also has... Okay, there's the answer, because Zhanhun only has 2 on gas.
Huh, do you think this is like an early expand play?
Yeah, okay. It looks like an expansion. A lot more Protoss players that I watch these days, they're getting more comfortable with defending their Nexus, whether it's versus Reaver or 3-gate or whatever the all-in the opposing player goes for, and they're just able to hold it somehow. And it seems like that's potentially what it could have been, or what it's going to be, I mean.
I think that's maybe a robo from, Dewalt here. So this will be a robo facility. Likely going to be making the observatory first, just given how the games have been going today. So, but still, I would assume from there he'll end up going robotics facility, follow up with some type of Reaver timing, as you'd expect for PvP. Meanwhile, though, Zhanhun, that is a very fast Nexus. I mean, he's kind of putting Dewalt on a timer, saying you better hope your Reaver timing is strong, man, or I'm gonna carry this game away.
Yeah, and Dewalt still has no idea that this is happening because he never got into the main, never saw that probes were pulled off of gas. So if this probe dies before getting a glimpse of the Nexus, he may think it's DT, and we of course know that's not the case at all. If he goes straight ob into this, Observer's not going to help him at all either. So it is imperative that he gets some type of intel, but he gets nothing.
I mean, he's got to... At least he sees the Dragoon positioning on the map. Like, he knows it's forward. There's at least a potential that there's a Nexus behind there. We're seeing Dewalt move forward because of that. But yeah, this is Observer. No Robo Support Bay down quite yet, I believe, for Dewalt. Maybe it just got built. Not. Nope, I lied.
That's going to be it. Yep, support base. So it is the one observer into Reaver. Well, I assume it's going to be one observer, probably shuttle follow up, and this is just kind of a safe opener. But he needs a not safe opener versus this, because that Nexus, it didn't just start, it's done, and that's a full saturation transfer. So this is going to be a huge eco boost to Zhanhun. He's also setting up pylons around the map to get vision in case a drop does come. So I love Zhanhun's position right now. He's got 3 gates, so he's going to have a lot of goon production too.
Yeah, this almost forces Dewalt to be pretty all-in with his timing, right? I mean, there's no catching up when the Nexus is already done. I feel like. But who knows?
He is going to try and build a Nexus. I mean, he does have unit advantage right now. You know, he can put pressure on, potentially force Zhanhun to cut some probes, even though he's got the additional Nexus. You know, maybe catch up that way where I force him to build actual units to just survive. Reaver is coming out though, and this is a lot of zealots mixed in with the goons. There's a lot of, you know, army to help buffer the goon shots. So Zhanhun not feeling confident, he's just gonna back off for now.
I mean, it's probably a right call. He's got the natural. That's his advantage. He's just mining more. The longer this game goes, the more of an advantageous position he'll be in. Ooh, nice. It looks like he's baiting out a little bit with that Dragoon, maybe trying to lure Dewalt away from his Reaver, but it's not going to happen. Dewalt getting in position here. Scouting, you know, basically for free, the entire tech and production facilities of Zhanhun. Sees the 4th gateway going down, sees the robo facility in the main. You know, just now sees Vespene Geyser being taken at the natural here for the Chinese Protoss, and yeah, I don't know. Zhanhun or Dewalt's just kind of forced to sit for now. You know, he's got to get at least a couple Reavers up and a shuttle before he can truly hope to apply pressure and do any kind of significant damage.
Yeah, there's still no shuttle out, so the Reaver can never, you know, go for a counterattack right now. He is trying to use his vision advantage to try and get some pot shots onto zealots or goons, and he does find one connection. Actually, Dewalt's army is quite large. He could just, I don't want to say a move across the map, obviously, but he could escort these Reavers slowly across the map and go for some type of timing. That is 5 gates for Zhanhun, because he realizes that he doesn't have Reavers or Storm or anything of that nature, so he just needs to have an overwhelming amount of gateway units.
I mean, looking at the probe count though, Zhanhun up by 10. That is not a small amount of probes. I still feel like Dewalt is on a timer, and yeah, he does have the double Reaver, but you know, if the game goes on too long, things could get a little uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, the Dewalt's pretty much all in here. He's decided to just cut completely. So supplies 101 to 84, but that's a 10 worker advantage for Zhanhun. So it's really like 100 to 95 right now, which is definitely manageable. He can't run into that though. Luckily, he unloads, gets off some good juicy scarabs, and now he'll be coming from the high ground. So this is not the angle Zhanhun wants to engage into. He needs to fall back.
Good pylon placement though here from Zhanhun. Zhanhun might even try to flank up the high ground as well here. And yeah, I think that's exactly what he's going to do. Dewalt moving in though, gets a couple of his own Dragoons kind of trapped, and suddenly Dewalt's a little surrounded here.
Yeah, but this is a tiny choke, but yeah, this is an awkward position for him. He's got to make this attack happen. Wow, this is just so many goons. This is so many goons from all angles. Like you said, the Reavers just aren't firing. What are they doing? They're not attacking at all. And this was just a disaster. Look at him. He still moved commanding. What the heck, man? Why didn't it fire?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That was definitely a blunder there. And honestly, Dewalt's army just got swallowed by Zhanhun's. So many Dragoons remaining here for the Chinese Protoss, and it looks like Dewalt accidentally rallying a few more Dragoons over as well. Might be losing.
Wait, whoa. Maybe this is broken because, yeah, I have a feeling
this
it's
might
broken
be
because I don't necessarily think that attack was broken, because that can happen, right? But If I'm Zhanhun there and I win a fight like that, I'm going to kill you. Kind of like in the Mihu game where it's like, I just did all that damage bottom right. I'm not sitting there watching my units pile up. I'm going to go attack you and just end the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, vice versa. If Dewalt has a fight that goes that bad, maybe you leave. I don't know,
you
man.
just instantly. What am I waiting for? Maybe I got my hands on my head like this. I'm like throwing my keyboard and I can't exit because it unplugged or something. But yeah, I'm out of there.
All right. Sounds like. Okay, guys. Sounds like we are good to jump back into it here. We're gonna see that fight all over again here. So let's check it out. All right. Dewalt killing off that pylon. He's steamrolling in here with his 2 Reavers, sizable Dragoon force. The flank is already set up once again for Zhanhun. And here we go. Ooh, Reavers are shooting this time.
Well, everything looks identical for now. This is the moment where they start bugging out. Okay, those do fire. Those are some big hits. The bridges are annoying for Zhanhun to get past. Those are another big hit. But is it enough? I mean, there's just so many goons, man. At least, I mean, those are some massive scarab shots. Ridiculous. But 5-gate goon, it's still just so many. Actually, does Dewalt have goon advantage? What's that, 5 versus 4?
4, yeah. 5 versus 4, just barely eking it out. And he's got Rally to finish this one off with as well. So somehow, man, through that Reaver control, I mean, he's able to get it done. That was phenomenal.
That was actually, I mean, I feel like both sides had the best engage they could have. Like, it's a full 360 flank, but at the same time, Reavers are getting massive shots versus clump goons, and somehow those Reaver shots overcame the 360 and rally advantage, and now it's Dewalt almost with probe lead, but also goon lead, and he has the arc advantage.
Yeah, I mean, just ahead in every way. We were talking about the start of this fight. The probe lead here for Zhanhun is now non-existent. Dewalt is ahead in every single way. Tech, goon count, eco. Dewalt really just pulling it back with that impressive Reaver control. And, I mean, such a strong timing. I think this is all but over here for Zhanhun.
Yeah, it feels like it's got to be over. It's a 10-worker lead now. Dragoons can just one-shot probes. They can, I don't know how many shots it is with 4 goons versus a goon, but I think you need 5 goons to 2-shot. But this is just an overwhelming advantage now for Dewalt. We still don't even know what the tech is for Zhanhun. Like, does he even have a support bay? Okay, he's going DTs. When in doubt, hit that K button. There's no observer.
Yeah, there is no observer left. Still though, this Reaver just in the nick of time here. I mean, even if Zhanhun gets out with a DT, there is observatory tech, obviously, so he could, stabilize, but it's not going to be necessary, man. GG is called from our Chinese Protoss there, and Dewalt taking the series 2-0, man. Incredible play out of him.
Yeah, nice comeback from him and nice redemption from last week. And it's crazy to see how 2 units, like how decisive did Zhanhun win that busted replay? Like, he won with like 20 goons left over, like actually 20.
Supply.
And then this game, Dewalt ended up being up like 6 goons versus 4 at the end. That's just absurd amounts of damage that those 2 Reavers dished out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, that just impeccable Reaver control. That's why you see players like Bonyth make the Reaver almost like a necessary staple of the matchup. They, the difference between what they can add and, the deficit you're in when you don't have them is just gigantic. So very well done there from Dewalt, taking the series 2-0 once again. Had kind of an incredible comeback there, game 2, to kind of seal the deal too. So very well done from him.
Yeah, it was really nicely done, and that means another Protoss point on the board. And I do want to point out that Bonyth 1-2-0 Dewalt won 2-0, and I mention this simply because it is round robin. You know, there could be later on where players are tied, but they win or they go to the next round because they have series that they won 2-0. So it is very important that players win the series 2-0 and not 2-1. So our last series of the day, what is it? It is going to be Ouya versus Sziky. So this is going to be another highlight from the foreign scene. We saw Bonyth end up taking down Sziky earlier today. I think Sziky can do it. I think he can put a point on the board for the not Protoss squad. We're going to be going into a break, and then we'll get into our final series of the day.